Well, greetings to you, all my followers on Facebook, family and friends, and those who I am well acquainted with, and greetings to those who I may not be so well acquainted with. This is Jeremy. I wanted to just come to you briefly I'm excited about a great task that a minister of the gospel, such as myself, along with other mighty men and women of God that are called to the special proclamation of the gospel. And that is to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ from the Holy Lectern this week. I will be preaching this Sunday at 9 a.m. New Orleans time at New Orleans Bible Fellowship Church. This will be my first time preaching at this ministry. I moved here 3 years ago to answer the call. I knew the call was on my life to preach the gospel for many years, but I decided to answer the additional call of that comes with ministry, and that is to hone my skills in an academic setting under scholars and great mighty men and women of God and who are very well known in the area of theology, experts in the area of theology and ministry. And so I've decided to come and to work on my doctorate here in New Orleans Bible Fellowship. I'm in my second year, have a few more courses, and then by the grace of God next year I will be writing my ministry project, which is also known as a dissertation. But I wanted to just briefly to talk to you about my message this week and where I feel like God has led me to. And I believe that this message is relevant to the struggle and the crisis that our nation is in today, the spiritual crisis, and the crisis that is in the church, because the church is called to be the beacon of hope to God, and Christ made us. As a matter of fact, we are the church, the ecclesia. We are the locust of Christ's ministry. When Christ came down in the incarnated word, he said that they will be my people and I will be their God. When Christ came down on earth after he was resurrected, that he would take the church to be the extension of his ministry, to join into his messianic endeavors, and that is that the proclamation of the gospel will be dispensed into the world. The message that I will be preaching this Sunday is entitled How to Live Out Our Faithful Obedience to God in the Midst of a Godless Society, sinful, wicked, full of crime, violent society. My sermonic pericope will be coming from Genesis chapter 6. We know about that story. It's the flood of Noah. It's a very cute story. It's very animative. We've heard about that story over the years. And, Noah and his boats and his ark, and his animals. And he saved the animals and God saved them from the great flood. But really, the truth of that story behind that narrative is the wrath of God found in Genesis chapter 6 verses 5. And God, here's the premises of the text. God saw that the human heart was wicked, and God became grieved. The human heart was wicked from every aspect of man, that those who were created in the image of God, image Deo, the image of God, to be his people and to be the ultimate fulfillment of Christ's glory, the crown of creation, became wicked. The believer. How did they become wicked? Genesis chapter 6 verses 1 said that when the angels of God saw that the daughters of men were fair, they took them in marriages. I'm going to unfold that. Where the church is called to be the impression, according to Genesis chapter 1 verses 26, when God made man in his image, he made us in his image to be a reflection of his sovereign glory, to be an impression. You know, you have there's a gospel out there saying that we are like God, that we are God. We are little g's. No, we're not little g's. That theologically, we are to be in the image of God, meaning it's like to be a king whose face is on a corn. It's to show the impression of, it's to have the moral characteristics and the likeness of God. And that likeness is to be transmitted into the earth. So the paganistic forces, the godliness that surrounds, that the enemy brings, the satanic forces, that it will defeat those forces. And I'm going to talk about how the church can be equipped to defeat the demonic forces. That we were created in the likeness, in the image of God, to be a part of his sovereign glory on the earth as an act of worship. That our obedience to that will show our love, our commitment, and our adoration, because he made us a part of that work. And that was to bring him glory. Satan's job is to bring everything he can. It is to vie against the affections of man. And that's what happened against the children of Israel. That God made them to be an expression of his glory. But Satan brought these angels that were in disguise of men to vie against the true devotion and affections of God, because they were supposed to glorify God and obey God and be his impression upon the earth, because he had made them and redeemed them into a perfect work, a perfect world. And then you have Satan's job Satan's job is to bring everything he can to intrude against that perfect work. And he works through God's body. And I want to talk about that this week. Pray my strength in the Lord. God bless you.